Let's move now to some of the questions that people have sent in. And we will start off with a famous business owner who has in the past come to some of our CBS Business Breakfast, and she just sits there and listens to the ideas going around the room.
Hi, Joe. It's Esther Fortunoff. It's really nice to participate in your breakfast virtually. I'm just wondering when people will go back to buying luxury items, jewelry or fancy dresses, when they're not getting together in big groups. What's going to make our economy feel strong enough for people to want to do that?
Anybody?
Well, it was my 5-year anniversary this weekend, and I definitely, I have a local store in Brooklyn that I use, and I was able to communicate with them via email, and we scheduled a pickup. So I bought some jewelry for my wife for our 5-year anniversary. I think it's just the difference of that in-store experience versus the online experience and communicating online. I think I don't buy a ton of luxury goods, so I don't know what the parameters are for what people need in buying luxury goods. But I think, people do benefit from going in-store and that in-store experience and that personal experience with, your shopper, whoever you work with in those stores. So I've just shifted what I would have done in-store onto email and, phone conversations. What I did this weekend was I don't want my wife to know, but I emailed them and said, hey, a 5-year anniversary this weekend. I'd like to pick up something on Thursday. What do you have in your stores in Brooklyn that I can pick up from? And they sent me, they know me from the past of what I've ordered, and they sent me through a list of items that were available, and then I chose from them, and then they're like, come pick it up from 2 to 3. So that was sort of my experience in buying jewelry recently. But I think it's gonna come back. It's just gonna be slow, and it's gonna be more personal. Like, can we make it more personal and more scheduled? I think.
And Joe or Cindy, just jump in. Don't wait for me if you want to.
We send out a survey every week asking people when they expect they're going to be going back to normal from a commuting perspective and a social gatherings perspective. 82% of our customers said between Labor Day and the end of the year. So 18% anticipate that prior to Labor Day, they will start commuting again and getting back to normal with their business. And I do think that, one of these large drivers of luxury goods is being seen in it, right? Of course, they're beautiful in themselves, but people buy them because they're in social situations with other people. And when you take that social situations away, you see, people buy a lot more sweatpants in Q2 of this year than they've ever bought in the history of the country. So, I'd say Labor Day to the end of the year, if our customers commuting are going to be using that same calendar for getting back to their social lives.
Will you keep these new businesses from pop-up drive-in theaters to produce drive-through pickups going permanently now, Joe? Are those here to stay?
We're going to follow the customer, like we always have, right? So we had a long-term vision of building up parking supply and demand outside of the 6 largest MSAs in the country. And then down the road, turning that into more services that are added on, where we can provide a passport to the suburbs to interact with, all these small businesses, and at the same time give those small businesses better technology tools. That was always the 5-10-year plan, but I don't know what parking demand is going to be like for a long time. So it looks like we're accelerating the passport to the suburbs plan and sticking with the areas like Fairfield County, Morris, Union, all over New Jersey. And, the drive-in movies are not money makers, but they acquire a lot of customers. And so we're able to then get these customers, and hopefully, by the end of the year, we figured out something else to sell them if they don't need parking.
Don't go to Christmas trees. That's already taken by many. Cindy, do you have any sense of when things will come back to normal?
Well, what I was going to just say, Esther, is I really, again, talking to my sales team around the country, it really varies by region. We have some salespeople that basically are saying you wouldn't even know there was COVID by how people are really interacting in the community. So I think you're going to see a more surge, more back to normal in some of those communities. Other communities are being much more careful, or at least more concerned before they get out there. So it's going to vary by the country. by the part in the country. And I also think we have to just be patient. I don't know if it's going to be back to normal for quite some time. So I think we have to prepare for that. But I do see in certain categories, there is a pent up sort of response. So I think when people are getting back out there, there is a pent up response. Instead of one pair of sweatpants, they're buying 10 sweatpants or whatever. So I'm not sure in luxury jewelry, but I think it's going to vary by the part of the country. We have to be patient. And I do think there is some pent up. So I don't know if that answers her question exactly.